Hello, everybody. Today we are going on to see at the module OS. And today's topic is process parameters. Before we start, please, give a like to this episode so more people can see it. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episodes. Let's go. OS environ. A mapping object where keys and values are strings that represent the process environment. For example, environ home is the path name of your home directory on some platforms, and is equivalent to get home in C. This mapping is captured the first time the OS module is imported, typically during Python startup as part of processing site.py. Changes to the environment made after this time are not reflected in OS environ, except for changes made by modifying OS environ directly. OS getEnv. Return the value of the environment variable key as a string if it exists, or default if it doesn't. Key is a string. Note that since getEnv uses OS environ, the mapping of getEnv is similarly also captured on import, and the function may not reflect future environment changes. OS putenv. Set the environment variable named key to the string value. OS unsetEnv. Unset, delete, the environment variable name key. OS fspath. Return the file system representation of the path. If str or bytes is passed in, it is returned unchanged. Otherwise _fspath_ is called and its value is returned as long as it is a str or bytes object. In all other cases, type error is raised. OSFS encode. Encode path like file name to the file system encoding and error handler, return bytes unchanged. OSFS decode. Decode the path like file name from the file system encoding and error handler, return str unchanged. OSC term ID. Return the file name corresponding to the controlling terminal of the process. OS get execution path. Returns the list of directories that will be searched for a named executable, similar to a shell, when launching a process. Env, when specified, should be an environment variable dictionary to look up the path in. By default, when env is none, environ is used. OS get effective group ID. Return the effective group hit of the current process. This corresponds to the set ID bit on the file being executed in the current process. OS set effective group ID. Set the current process's effective group ID. OS get effective user ID. Return the current process's effective user ID. OS set effective user ID. Set the current process's effective user ID. OS get group ID. Return the real group ID of the current process. OS set group ID. Set the current process group ID. OS get raise GID. Method is used to get the current process's real, effective, and saved group IDs. Returns tuple. OS set raise GID. Method is used to set the current process as real, effective, and saved group hits. OS get resu ID. Method is used to get the current process as real, effective, and saved user IDs. OS set resu ID. Method is used to set the current process as real, effective, and saved user IDs. Real user ID. It is account of owner of this process. It defines which files that this process has access to. Effective user ID. It is normally same as real user ID, but sometimes it is changed to enable a non-privileged user to access files that can only be accessed by root. Saved user ID. It is used when a process is running with elevated privileges, generally root, needs to do some underprivileged work. This can be achieved by temporarily switching to non-privileged account. OS get UID. Method is used to get the current process's real user ID. User ID. In Unix-like operating systems, a user is identified by a unique value called user ID. User ID is used to determine which system resource a user is authorized to access. OS set UID. Method is used to set the current process's real user ID. OS get group list. Return list of group IDs that user belongs to. If group is not in the list, it is included, typically. Group is specified as the group ID field from the password record for user, because that group ID will otherwise be potentially omitted. OS get groups. Return list of supplemental group IDs associated with the current process. OS get login. Return the name of the user logged in on the controlling terminal of the process. For most purposes, it is more useful to use getPassGetUser, since the latter checks the environment variable's log name or username to find out who the user is. OS get process group. Return the ID of the current process group. OS get process ID. Return the current process ID. OS supports bytes environ. True if the native OS type of the environment is bytes, for example false on Windows. OS str error. Return the error message corresponding to the error code and code. On platforms, where str error returns null when given an unknown error number, value error is raised. OS umask. Set the current numeric umask and return the previous umask. OS uname. The method returns information on the operating system kernel. The information on the operating system kernel include name of the operating system, implementation defined name of the machine on the network, release number of the operating system, version number of the operating system, hardware identifier of the machine. Thank you for watching. Please give a like for support this channel. Write comments, share with friends, and subscribe to see new series. Be safe. Bye.